So I played a little over 12 hours of Elden Ring Nightreign during the network test and had an amazing time. I think you guys are really going to love what they have cooked up here. But all the fun didn't come without its bumps and bruises. There are definitely some key things that you are going to want to keep in mind if you want to make it through the learning curve as smooth as possible. Now, most of these will be geared towards players that didn't get into the network test, but some are things that have changed here recently. So whether you didn't get into the network test and are looking for some helpful tips, or you played more than I did and are waiting in the comment section to batter me with opposing opinions, here are 8 things you need to know about Nightreign before its launch on May 30th. First off, and the most important thing of all, is to level up early and as often as humanly possible. Although Nightreign bears the Elden Ring name, it is a much different game. For starters, the leveling system is much faster, and now follows a predetermined progression path. So instead of choosing what stat you will level, you just hit level up, and your stats automatically increase. Which might sound awful coming from the Souls games, but I assure you, it fits perfectly for this game. You just don't have time to pick through the stats. With the circle closing in and the night coming, it's sort of a race to get as strong as you can, as fast as you can, so you will have the best chance possible at defeating the boss at the end of each day. And then of course, the Night Lord. Typically, you want to be about level 11 or 12 by the time you get to the final boss, so grab a level every chance you get and plan your route accordingly. The next thing is to make like it's Easter Sunday and head to church. So in Nightreign, you get more health flasks by heading to the various churches marked on the map, of which there are usually 3. So one of the first things you want to do is head to the first one towards the edge of the map first, because if you wait too long, the circle will begin to close and thus make it inaccessible. And then you can grab the others as the game progresses. Just make sure to keep an eye on the locations and where the circle is fairly regularly, because the last thing you want to do is end up fighting the Night Lord with very few heals. Number 3 is have a group of friends, if you have any friends. You can run solos if you want, which is probably what I will do mostly, but if you're going to attempt it with a group, randoms are very hit and miss when it comes to their skill level, and even if they care, and this game requires a good deal of communication and teamwork. And communication is really the main reason why I bring this point up at all. Where you go and in what order makes a big difference in your chances for success. So being able to talk and work together with your friends will yield the best results. If you're running trios, the game is scaled for 3 people. So if you have one person that knows what they're doing and then 2 others that just kind of split off and do whatever, then it's going to make it very hard for you to actually beat the Night Lord. So if you don't have friends, you should probably make some. I guess I should probably make some. At number 4 is that caves and weapon upgrades aren't really worth it. Like I said before, it has the Elden Ring name, but it's a very different game. So exploration is not as prominent, and the pace is crazy fast. The fastest way to get stronger is to hit simple, accessible dungeons and bosses, and then level up. The caves are often out of the way and provide upgrade material that just don't give you the same bang for your buck as killing enemies and bosses to get runes for leveling. So I wouldn't really worry about them unless you want to risk it just for the sake of sightseeing. The one exception to this is the big lava pit that will sometimes spawn in the middle of a map during a play session. It's a random event, so it doesn't happen all the time, but if that does happen, if you go down in there and beat the boss there, you get an instant upgrade that automatically puts your weapon to legendary. So that is probably one that would be worth it. Number 5 is use your relics. Relics are items that you get from successful runs that you can equip to your character at the Round Table Hold, and they provide various buffs and stat increases that follow you through run after run. These relics are color-coded, and each character comes with a preset amount and color types that they can equip. Although you can change this by purchasing an item from the jar vendor in the Round Table Hold. Now we know from early previewers and interviews that as you progress through the Night Lords, the difficulty will increase. So relics are the only way you can increase your character's strength to take on the tougher runs. So be sure to take advantage of them. Number 6 is that enemies do not scale up or down with your levels. So if you go to the wrong place at the wrong time, you will more than likely die to a tough boss or enemy. This was made very apparent to me when in one of my sessions my team decided to take on Loretta, who was hanging out near the starting area. And to put it lightly, we were very outmatched. So if you hit a spot where it feels a little too spicy, it's most likely because you are underleveled and need to go somewhere else, get stronger, and then maybe come back to that later on. Honestly, this part of the game is very similar to the base game of Elden Ring. So don't be too hard-headed and feel free to leave when it gets a little too tough. Now the next two are more for people that played the playtest already, as they have to do with recent changes. So number 7 is that the Acid Rain Circle now does more damage. In the playtest, you could almost just run around and play in it, because the damage was very minimal. But now the rain does about double the damage that it did in the playtest, so keep that in mind and plan accordingly, because when you see the circle coming, it's not going to be the same day in the rain type of fun that it was before. And number 8 is that Gladius has been buffed. If you don't know, Gladius is the first Night Lord that everybody fought during the playtest, and this is great news because he was a big pushover. But now he has more health and deals more damage. However, early preview players are saying he is still fairly easy, but the Night Lords do get harder the more you beat, so it sounds like we will still get plenty of challenge out of Nightreign. But let me know in the comments if you think I missed anything or if you have any questions. I'll be covering Nightreign very closely, so if that's something you're into, you might want to consider sticking around. Man, I really wish YouTube had like a button you could click where you would keep up with my content and get like notifications and things.